100 from Adam Wheater, a 99 for Gareth Berg, and a ferocious spell of bowling from Fidel Edwards put Hampshire on top of Sussex on the second day of the LV County Championship match at the Brighton and HoveJobs.com county ground. Honours were even as the second morning got underway, with the visitors on 116 for 4 in reply to Sussex's 251, and night watchman Danny Briggs nicked off to Ollie Robinson in the day's 9th over while trying to uppercut. With 5 of their men back in the hutch, Hampshire was still 112 runs behind, and a good first innings lead on a pitch which had offered the bowler some assistance seemed unlikely, although Wheater had other ideas. He looked in good nick from the moment he arrived at the crease. James Vince had started the day on a season's best 52, and he was able to add 24 runs to his tally in the day's first hour. But he then went after a short and wide ball from Matt Hobden, only to leave his feet still while edging to Ed Joyce. Sean Irvine hit a quick 15, but was then given out LBW to a ball from Hobden that he thought he'd middled. So Berg came out to join Wheater with the game in the balance, with Hampshire on 197 for 7, 54 runs behind. Wheater sensed that now was the moment for him to shine, and a couple of reverse paddles off Luke Wells soon had him to a half century off only 37 balls, 9 fours included in that. Berg got his innings moving with this shot for 4. One he followed up in the next over with this maximum off Wells, whose 4-over spell cost 35 runs as the decision to bowl him backfired. By the time lunch arrived, this pair had their side into the lead with a total reading 264 for 7, their partnership quickly rising to 67, those runs coming up in only 9 overs. This was the kind of counter-attack we are all becoming used to this season. The game is definitely a-changing. If Sussex thought that the lunch break would help end this partnership on the restart, they were mistaken, as both batsmen continued to play their shot early on in the afternoon. The pitch seemed to be playing well now, and although Joyce moved his bowlers around, none of them could upset the rhythm of this stand, which was growing all too quickly as far as the home team were concerned. Berg passed a 50 off 63 deliveries, while Wheater became his county's first centurion of the summer by reaching 3 figures off only 82 balls, an innings containing 16 thumping 4s. The partnership was approaching 150 in double quick time when Berg belted Chris Nash down the ground for his second 6 as he moved into the 70s. In just 25 overs together, these two added 165 runs at more than 6 per over, a record partnership for this wicket for Hampshire against Sussex, Wheater getting to 111 of just 99 deliveries. So the total had rushed up to 362 for a lead of 111 when Sussex finally broke through, a more conventional paddle being gloved off Wells to Joyce. Wells struck again in his next over, Edwards slapping this ball to Luke Wright at mid-off, leaving only Jackson Bird to come out to help Berg. He was on 83 when the 9th wicket fell, and then closed in on what would have been his first ton since 2011 and just a third of his first-class career. He smashed 2 successive 6s off Michael Yardy and must have thought that the hard work had now been done and that he would soon be celebrating a rare achievement. On 98, he got an inside edge off Steve McGoffin and saw his chance. He sprinted the first run and then raced back for his second, only to be beaten by Hobden's direct hit. It was cruel, but Berg was run out for 99, his side all out for 392. Those runs had come at more than 4.5 per over overall and had given Hampshire a lead on first innings of 141, of which only 12 had been knocked off, when Edwards, racing down the Hove slope, had Wells caught by Will Smith for an 11-ball duck. These wickets tell only part of the story of the pace Edwards was producing, although the way Matt Machin was bowled behind his legs does tell you plenty. It was 3 in quick time for the Bajan when he won an LBW decision to see the back of a visibly disappointed Yardy, who left with his side in big trouble on 23 for 3. Edwards had bowled a telling opening spell of 7 overs, 3 for 16. Joyce just happy to get a bat to some really pacey stuff. Nash would have been pleased to see Edwards come off, but he now needed to make the most of this period. He played some lovely shots in partnership with his captain. These two experienced Sussex players known that they had to dig deep now to keep themselves in touch with a team who were in a good position to record their first 4-day win of the summer. These two had added a much-needed 71 runs for the fourth wicket. The stand ended by Berg, who has had an excellent match so far, Vince with a safe pair of hands in the slips. Nash went on to record his first 50 of the championship summer off 91 balls, and he looked as if he was going to see out the day with Wright, who took on Briggs, this shot going all the way for 6. But Edwards was back on before the close, tearing in down the hill and winning another LBW that a batsman wasn't too happy with. Nash had to go though for 50. Night watchman McGoffin and Wright saw out the remaining 11 deliveries, and they'll be back in the morning with a lot to do to keep their side in this game. Sussex will resume with Wright a key man on 28 on 142 for 5, and that has them just one run ahead.